Greetings and welcome to this edition of
Positronic.
I'm Barry P. Cook. I'm here to talk to you about the latest episode of Gotham Knights. It was called Under Pressure. And as it starts, we see a criminal remove some kind of rocket launcher from the back of a van, only to be faced with Robin, who kicks his ass. At the clock tower, it would seem that there are very few clues in Bruce's journal about how to track down the court. Steph approaches Robin and lets her know that the cops took credit for her apprehension or takedown of the criminal, who it turns out is the leader of the mutant gang. Brody shows up and asks Steph to the Gotham Founders Gala, which Turner isn't exactly pleased about because Brody's kind of a jerk. Duella and the twins hatch a plan to steal the old case file about Alan Wayne's murder from the GCPD so that they can try to use it to find clues that will lead them to the court. The mutant gang then blows up a GCPD dirigible over the city. When Robin goes off to react to the destruction of the dirigible, Turner wants to go with her, but she rebuffs him, only for him to show up anyway and end up taking out a guy who had a gun on her. Turns out he was able to find her because Bruce low-key taught him all kinds of detective stuff without telling him that that's what he was doing. Together, they figure out that the gang that blew up the dirigible had also taken a whole bunch of chemicals from the Ace chemical plant, which, of course, in the comics was Joker's company. At the gala, it becomes apparent that Harvey Dent is having an affair with Brody's mother, which I'm sure is going to come up later. Cullen goes into GCPD dressed like a cop to try to get the file they need back at the clock tower. Turns out that the bad guys want to gas the Founders Gala, to which they show up, grenades blowing and guns blazing, before issuing a demand for the release of the gang leader. Turner, Robin, Duella, and the other twin hatch a plan to go into the gala space using the derelict subway tunnels so that they can defuse the bomb, which they end up being helped with by Steph, who lets them into the building at the end of one of the tunnels because she was at the gala. It turns out that defusing the bomb isn't possible, even though our young heroes seem to know a whole lot about defusing bombs and how they work. So Turner has to alert Harvey to the situation so that he can alert the GCPD not to release the leader because it will buy them time to defuse the bomb, which our heroes figure the gang is probably going to blow either way. If the leader isn't released, they're going to gas everybody. If he is released, they're still going to gas everybody because they came to the gala with gas masks and they'll be able to get away. Harvey does, in fact, alert the police chief about the plan, but he doesn't listen. This results in the leader being released and the gang trying to blow the bomb, at which point Harvey attacks the guy holding the switch as Robin, Turner, and Duella take out the members of the gang. He isn't able to keep the guy from pushing the button, though, and the bomb only doesn't go off because Steph cut something at the last second, which the Cullen twin who was helping her didn't take very well because she thought that it meant that Steph was saying that she was dumb, that she had to just jump in and do it. When Duella reveals that she made off with all the jewelry and stuff that the gang had stolen from the gala attendees, our team finds that a bunch of the watches in the take belong to Court of Owls members, which means they were there. When Robin laments that the guy she worked so hard to take down just got released, Turner tells her that he's jealous of her because she got to see a side of his dad that he never did, and she says that he got to see a side of him that she never did, the man who takes his kid on camping trips and so forth, the likes of which she didn't get to experience in her own life because her dad had died when she was so young. It turns out that Duella had asked Cullen to get her a picture of her dad from the GCPD lockup so that she could have it, in her words, to remember how much she hates him by, which I think is just a cover. Or, she wants a memento of her dad. Anyway, Harvey then gives a speech to announce his campaign for mayor as the current mayor is gassed in his car after being locked and finding a Court of Owls coin in it. And that's where the episode ended. So once again, I really liked this episode. I think this show is really good. I was a tiny bit put off by the expertise in bomb diffusing and bomb technology that the one Cullen twin and Steph showcased during the scenes where they were working with the bomb, because they're high school students and, okay, maybe they have a little knowledge because, they're learning about stuff in this, well, at least Steph is learning about stuff in this highfalutin private school, and the other one has kind of had a life on the streets, and she probably knows some street stuff that the average high school age person wouldn't know. But it was a lot of sophisticated information for, 17 and 18-year-old kids. I was like, really? They really know all this stuff? But, it was a minor thing. And I thought the rest of it was great. I especially liked the scene between Robin and Turner because I think it was well acted. You could see in, Robin's face that she was just, beside herself over everything that's going on. She lost her friend and mentor. She, you know, puts a lot of effort into trying to keep Gotham safe, especially since he's gone. And it just sort of seems to get pulled right from out from under her. And, she's really upset about it. And Turner, does his best to sort of try to help her put it into perspective and not feel so badly. And you could see that the two of them have a connection, and which they do just by virtue of the setup. But you could feel that they feel it, and that it's bittersweet because they have opposite sides of the coin, and together it kind of represents a whole. But individually, neither of them had the whole person, of Bruce when he was alive. So you just feel that they feel that, and it came through in the acting, it came through in the writing, and I thought it was really cool. I continue to absolutely adore the Duella character. Adore. I think she's written fantastically. I think the actress playing the part is doing a great job. The character is just fantastic. Like I said, I get shades of Alice, and I loved the Alice character in the latter seasons of Batwoman. So I think she's great. I mean, it would have been so easy for them to write that character very one dimensionally. Always snarky, always on the make or on the take, and she is on the make and on the take at all times. But you can tell in the writing, and you can tell in the portrayal by the actor that the character does actually care about Gotham to a certain extent, and she does maybe not the people as much as just it's her hometown. And she cares about the entity of the city, I think. And you can tell that she likes having people around her that kind of trust her and whom she kind of trusts, and that she likes being part of a group, even though she kind of, you know, feels like she's got a shadow over her head and is often just as ready to ditch them as she is ready to help them. But I think the character is torn. She's torn between her better nature and her nature towards self-preservation, and her criminal side, and quite frankly her crazy side. But I think she comes across as a good person underneath all of that, and that she comes off as vulnerable, and that her machinations aimed at covering up that she's vulnerable actually kind of do the opposite. And I just think it's very, very cool. I think the character is excellent. I didn't think I would think much of this Turner character. I'm like, who is this guy? They pulled him out of their ass. It's so dumb. Why didn't they use an established character? But I think going with an unknown was the absolute right choice, because we don't know what he's like. We don't know what he's going to do. We don't know how he thinks. We don't know how he feels. And we have nothing to go by. And we're learning it all firsthand from the writing. And I think they're doing a good job. I think as foreign as the concept of Bruce having had a kid that we never heard about before is, it's working. They've crafted the character well. He knows his stuff because Bruce sort of trained him in stuff, but not because he ever wanted him to take after him. You know what I'm saying? He's different from Damian and Dick Grayson and Jason Todd and those guys, in that he was never meant to carry on the mantle or even be part of that thing. Yet he's perfectly capable of doing that because Bruce didn't leave him out in the cold. Bruce still gave him some of the skills, and he's definitely a character that feels for Gotham the way Bruce did. Bruce totally passed that on to him, the high-mindedness and so forth of his Batman persona. So I think it's fantastic, and I don't understand why people, don't like the show, that it's not, that it's getting the negative reviews that it's getting. Although I've read that it's pretty popular in terms of viewership. I mean, even the portrayal of Harvey Dent, the version of Harvey Dent that they're going with, is cool, and the guy acts the part really well, and you can see that he's actually a good guy, which Harvey Dent always was until he became Two-Face. But I like their version of Harvey Dent quite a bit. So I just like the show. That's really all there is to it. And, I'm looking forward to next week. I'll be back, of course, to review that episode once it's released. I'm going to get out of here for now. Until I return, I wish you peace and long life.